So paper 3 basically consists of, do you know about your paper pattern?
Sorry, what?
One paper only. This paper 3 in A2, and the marks of this paper is 150 marks. And there will be 6 questions.
So instead of paper 1 and 2 in A2 is only one paper.
But from 23 onwards, again, there are 2 papers. Paper 3 and paper 4 has been arrived now from 2023. So whoever is going to appear in 2023, he will appear again in 4 papers. But for you, because you are appearing in 2022, you will go for only one paper, which is
one paper,
which consists of 6 questions of 25 marks each. Right? And total marks are 150 as discussed earlier. And 6 questions out of 6 questions, question 1, 2, 3, and 4 is from financial accounting. Question number 5 and 6 is from cost accounting or management accounting, you can say, which basically covers 4 chapters. Which includes ABC costing, budgeting, standard costing, and investment appraisal. These are the 4 chapters in which you are going to have your paper for 5 and 6 questions. It means out of these 4 chapters, 2 questions will definitely come from costing. Out of these 4, you will find 2 of them in your paper. So 25 marks, 4 questions will come from financial accounting, 150 marks will be there. Do you know about the grade threshold? You know the meaning of grade threshold?
I had an overview with it, but I don't know the exact meaning to it. It's basically the I don't know how it is set up, but I believe it is different for every year.
No. Grade threshold is basically not different, very different from every year, but it has a range. It is known as relative grading or percentile, you can say. Generally, we used to find 100 marks. If you are getting out of 150, you will get A grade. But last time, for the same variant, for our variant, it has decreased to 90 marks. Why? Because the paper was difficult in May, June 2021. It was difficult, little paper was difficult. That's why it has decreased to 90 marks. Sometimes it goes above 100 marks, 102, 103. But this is the normal range. So you can at least assess that 70% marks you need
to get an A grade. Okay.
Right? So this is how you can write it down. This is how your paper pattern is going to be for your exams. Generally, it seems I will be very open with you because nothing should be hidden from you. Generally, it seems as if A2 syllabus is of 3 to 4 months, but it is not true. I'm telling you. It will take around 6 months to cover the whole course if you want to do it along with past papers. You're getting my point, Kamil?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it carries 6 months, not 3 months. In 3 months, you won't be able to cover up all the course, including past papers. And you know that if you are not able to solve 10-year past papers, you won't be able to attempt paper 3 at least. It is not possible because it is one of the complex papers in accounting. Am I right?
Every paper is like
is
that.
complex.
Even
You
if
are
you
right.
practice
You are right.
the
You are
paper,
right.
every paper is complex.
You are true. Absolutely true. Every paper, if you talk about paper 3 or A2, every paper is difficult. In business, you have paper 3, which is, usme case study approach is being used, which is a difficult one. Economics paper 3 paper is also very difficult. Same is the case with accounting. This is how we are going to cover the syllabus. I have already discussed with you chapters: manufacturing, NPO, business purchase, company ratio, ICE auditing, cash flow statement, consignment, and joint venture. Till here, it is financial accounting. And out of these, you will find 4 questions. And from the last 10, 11, 12, 13, you will find 2 questions from these 4 chapters, which are written from 10 to 13. So my question is this from you, that from which chapter you are going to start the course, or you will go with me? My first question is from you.
However you seem it feasible, it's fine with me.
Okay. Second thing which I want to ask you, do you know about company accounts? Because if I will start from company, you should be able to understand what is company, what are right shares, what are bonus shares. Because if we talk about, if we move into the company accounts, right shares and bonus shares will be a part of the company, which comes in A2 also. Do you have idea
Company.
about company accounts? Are you familiar? Need to
Are you
revise?
talking about the different company accounts, like the sole venture or the partnership accounts? So
No, 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 no. I'm not talking
what
about
company
sole
type
trader
are
and
you talking
partnership
about?
accounts. I'm talking about only company accounts, which includes revaluation reserve, share premium, ordinary share capital, retained earnings, general reserves, and how the right shares are issued, how the bonus shares are issued, how the statement of changes in equity is being prepared, and how the income statement and balance sheet of company is being prepared. So do you have idea about that, or you don't exactly idea? Otherwise, I will start it later on.
I don't think so. I
You
don't
don't
think.
think so? Okay.
I don't remember things like that.
Okay, okay, okay. I got it. So let's start from manufacturing account then, which is the first chapter, right? We'll start from the very basic, which is the first chapter of manufacturing account. We'll start from manufacturing account so that you may not find things very difficult. And with the passage of time, then we will move on to cover the other chapters, including company accounts and A2 ratio analysis, because these are the two chapters which has a link with AS. Generally, all chapters has a link with AS, but I will try to make you understand. And if need be, we will cover AS topics also along with A2 if there is a need for that. Okay. So let's start manufacturing count.
Okay, sir.
Manufacturing count. Do you have any person who can collect the book from me, because I won't be able to give you the soft copy because it is, it is an asset for a teacher. So I will be able to give you a hard copy. Is there anyone over here who can send you, who can collect the book from Green Hall and who can send you the book? Is there any possibility?
Um, uh, Actually, most of the family lives in Pakistan. No one really comes to visit, so it's
When is your plan to come to Pakistan?
not anytime soon. No,
Sorry,
not anytime soon. Not right now.
not right now. So
Yeah,
one over here who can accommodate you by sending the book to you. There is no one over here who can accommodate you.
yeah.
Okay, let's see how we are going to manage this then.
No, can't you send me the ebooks? I will print them out here.
Yeah, ebooks is a possibility. You can print them out, but the problem is this, that it is just an asset for the for a teacher, and if it will move towards different, it will come into hands of different people who are teachers, that will be manipulated. You are getting my point. It's easy to put their names on.
No, I'm saying you sent me the ebooks, and I will take a print out at my home because I have a printer here, and I can study with you from those books. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, okay, inshallah ta'ala, we'll going to manage it. Okay, manufacturing account is the topic which we are going to start today. So
I wanted to ask one thing before.
yes, sure.
Why did the classes got cancelled on Monday?
Actually, the problem is this, that Green Hall doesn't have the facility to record the lectures, right? And my policy is always that I used to record the lectures, and I was having time on these days, which I have already discussed with you. But if you want me to go for Monday, we can go for Monday also, but it is going to be a little late time.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to ask why the
That
class didn't happen on Monday.
Yeah,
Because
that
for
was the
business also and economics also the class did not happen.
classes are from Monday to Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because different teachers are teaching. Generally, those teachers who are very much experienced, they don't have that much time enough to give online classes. But I wanted to go for online classes because I was very comfortable with online classes. I feel that I'm very competent, so I should continue with online classes also. That's why I've taken the step. Otherwise, teachers of my capacity or teachers of my experience, they don't go for online classes. When you will be able to take more and more classes from me, you will be able to know about it. That's why sir was asking this. Secondly, because I have schools, I have 2 to 3 schools, Roots, City School, and SIPs and other schools. So I have to manage my schools along with the academy, along with the online classes and along with the academy classes. So I've given you those timings in which I will feel relaxed to teach you, and you will be comfortable also with me, right?
Right.
I hope so that you don't have any problem with these timings.
No, I don't have any problems. Just one more question.
Yeah.
Will the timings of business and economics also change, or
No,
they
no,
are
no,
the
no. It
same?
will remain the same. It will remain the same. They won't change it. It will remain the same.
Because I just wanted to confirm, because only you have contacted me till now. The
Yeah,
rest I don't know
exactly.
about.
And I am not, secondly, Kamal, you have seen that I am not using the same channel. I'm not coming through the Green Hall site. I'm giving you my own link. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the reason. So that's why I have given you the own link so that I can record the classes to send the recordings to you so that you can see that again. And along with that, the timing suits me also because it will be more convenient for me. Okay.
So are you going to put these lectures in the Google Classroom, or where?
I will send you through mail also. You can send me your
Okay.
email address through WhatsApp.
Yeah, okay. I will send it to you.
Okay. Okay, Kamil, let's start. So manufacturing count is the topic. Screen is very clear with screen is in front of you. It's very clear. I think so.
Yes.
Okay. So manufacturing count means that you are going to manufacture something and then you are able to sell it. In the previous few chapters, in the previous business organizations, which we have discussed, sole trader, partnership, in those organizations, what we were doing actually, we were involved in trading businesses. We were involved in trading business. We were doing trading business. Trading business means buying and selling of goods. If you remember that what we used to do, can you tell me the format of income statement? It starts from yes.
It starts from sales.
Sales, very good. That's great.
Yeah, then cost of
Right, less cost of sales.
less cost of sales.
And after cost of sales, first it appears opening inventory.
Opening inventory.
And purchases.
Purchases, closing inventory.
Less closing inventory. That's it. I don't want to go ahead of that. I don't want you to go ahead of that. Why? Because the thing which I want to make you understand, at that time, this was the opening inventory of finished goods. Okay. And this was closing inventory of
finished
goods, because you were purchasing, you were buying finished goods and you were selling finished goods.
Yes.
So there was nothing like raw material and there was nothing like work in progress. There was only a single inventory, which is of finished goods, because you are buying finished goods. If they are not, if the opening inventory is not enough, we used to purchase more finished goods and then we are selling the finished goods. That's what we are doing. So there is opening inventory of finished goods, and there is closing inventory of finished goods, but we are not, we don't use to write the name of finished goods. Right?
Yes.
So because we were dealing, मुझे मिल गया आपका email.
Okay.
Okay. So because we were dealing with manufactured goods, which are already in finished form, we were used to write the opening inventory of finished goods, and that was the closing inventory of finished goods. Although we are not used to write finished goods, the name of finished goods, but they were actually the inventories of finished goods, right? In manufacturing counts, first we need to know the one thing which is known as manufacturing cost. Manufacturing accounts includes manufacturing cost because we are manufacturing something. We are not purchasing the finished goods and selling it. We are manufacturing the goods and then we are selling it. Manufacturing costs cost includes all elements of cost. Elements of cost includes three things, which is number one is direct material. Number two is direct labor. And number three is factory overheads. In order to manufacture anything, you have to calculate, you have to incur these three costs, which is manufacturing cost or elements of cost, which includes direct material, direct labor, and factory overheads. Now let's talk about direct material. But first,
can't we just call them direct costs?
but first that we will discuss about direct material, direct labor, or direct or factory overheads. We need to know about direct cost. So please write the definition of direct cost, because you need to write it down. So give the heading of direct cost and write it down. Direct cost is a cost direct cost is a cost which becomes the integral part of the product. Direct cost is a cost which becomes the integral part of the product. INTEGRAL. Direct cost is a cost which becomes the integral part of the product. Or.
What was the spelling of integral?
INTEGRAL.
Okay, after that.
Direct cost is a cost which becomes the integral part of the product. INTEGRAL.
Yeah, I'm done with that. After that.
Direct cost is a cost which becomes the integral part of the product, or which can be traceable from the product. Or which can be traceable from the product. Or which can be traceable from the product, or which is directly attributable to the product. Or which is directly attributable to the product. Which is directly attributable to the product. So direct cost is a cost which becomes the integral part of the product, or which is traceable from the product, or which is directly attributable to the product. That is called direct cost. Right? Now let's talk about it, that how it becomes direct cost. Direct cost is a cost which becomes the integral part of the product, yani which is included in the product, or which can be traceable. For example, if we are manufacturing chairs, so I can easily understand, I can easily evaluate that how much raw material, how much wood is a part of that particular chair. That particular chair involves 10 kg of raw material, and then that 10 kg cost me $100. So that is direct cost, because it can be traceable from the product. जो प्रोडक्ट के अंदर शामिल होती है, प्रोडक्ट के अंदर लगी होती है, which can be traceable from the product and which is becomes the integral part of the product, जो प्रोडक्ट का हिस्सा होती है. So I can easily trace from one chair, I can trace that how much raw material has been consumed in manufacturing this chair, and that cost is basically known as direct cost, and that is known as direct material, because it becomes the integral part of the product and it is directly traceable from the product, or it is directly attributable to the product, जो product के अंदर शामिल होती है, लगी होती है. The person who is going to transform that wood into the form of a chair, his labor is basically known as direct labor, and that is also direct cost, because it is also traceable from the product and it is also becomes the integral part of the product. How come, sir? जो बंदा उस चेयर को बना रहा है, उसकी मेहनत उस चेयर में लगी होती है, और the labor, the wages which we are paying to that particular person who has manufactured that particular chair, that is direct labor. Why it is direct labor? Because that is the direct wages which is paid to that particular worker. It is also known as manufacturing wages. It is also known as factory wages. It is also known as production wages. It is also known as factory operative wages. These are all direct labor costs. Direct wages, manufacturing wages, production wages, factory wages, or factory operative wages. Because these are the labor of those people who are directly involved in manufacturing those particular chairs or in manufacturing those goods. Because their labor is a part of that particular product. Their cost has been included in manufacturing that particular chair. And it becomes the integral part of the product. It is traceable from the product. जिस बंदे ने ये कुर्सी बनाई आपको, आपने उसको जितने पैसे दिए, that is your direct cost, and that is known as direct material, or that is known as direct labor. Sorry. So direct material and direct labor is known as direct cost because it is directly attributable to the product, or becomes the integral part of the product, or it can be traceable from the product. Okay.
Okay.
Next point is factory overheads. So all indirect cost, including indirect material, indirect costs, including indirect material and indirect labor, is a part of factory overhead. Is a part of factory overhead. फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड को हम FOH भी बोलते हैं. फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड को हम FOH भी बोलते हैं एब्रिविएशन में, फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड्स. All indirect costs which is going to incur in the factory, but it is not related with the manufacturing of the goods like direct material and direct labor. They are all included in factory overheads. Like indirect material includes heat, light, and power. The electricity which are consuming in manufacturing the chairs, that is part of the cost of factory, but it is not directly attributable or directly involved in manufacturing the chairs. Heat, light, and power, factory taxes. Same is the case with indirect labor. Indirect labor includes supervision, the person who is supervising that how the chairs are being manufactured. But his labor is not directly included in the chair cost, that is indirect labor, because he is just supervising. Foreman salary, crane driver salary, factory chowkidar salary, canteen which is in the factory, and there is an expense of the canteen people also, we are making them payment. These are all indirect labor because they are not involved in manufacturing the goods, but that is a part of the factory cost. That comes in factory overheads. So all indirect expenses, including indirect material, glue, grease, which all those maintenance costs which involves in making the machinery running, in keeping the machinery in running format, that is all indirect cost, and that is indirect material. And all indirect labor like foreman salary, factory crane driver salary, that is all, that all cost which is indirect, that comes in factory overheads. So all indirect expenses, including indirect material and indirect labor which are incurred in the factory, that is called indirect costs, and that is called factory overheads. So all those costs which is not direct is basically indirect cost. So this is basically direct cost, and factory overhead is basically indirect cost. Direct material and direct labor becomes direct cost. It's a part of direct cost, and factory overhead is basically your indirect cost, but it includes both indirect material and indirect labor also. Because it is not traceable from the product. It is not directly attributable from the product. So that is basically your indirect cost. Okay. Ji, Kamil, any problem?
Sir, in case of the indirect cost,
Yes.
if how does it really contribute? Like you're saying, canteen expenses and everything related to that. How does it contribute to the product?
How does it contribute to the product? Actually, that is the way we use to absorb overheads into production. That is what we have studied in AS in absorption costing. That how overheads are absorbed into production, and there we use a basis of apportionment. Right? Some departments, some cost is directly attributable to a particular department, that is called allocation, and some overheads are apportioned between departments, that is called apportionment. And this is how the overheads are absorbed into production. लेकिन प्रॉब्लम ये है कि एक फैक्ट्री जो है, उस फैक्ट्री का सारा खर्चा, डू यू थिंक it will not be a production cost? It is a production cost. All expenses which are incurred in manufacturing the goods in a factory is production cost. So production cost includes two costs. That is, one is called direct cost, which becomes the integral part of the product. And the other one is called indirect cost, which includes factory overheads, which includes factory taxes, depreciation of factory machinery, factory rent. Factory rent is a factory cost, but it is not involved in manufacturing the chair, but it is still incurred in the factory. Factory rent, factory taxes, factory power, heat and light, supervision, factory indirect labor, chowkidar ki salary, canteen expenses of the factory. These are all factory costs, but they are taken as factory overheads because they are not directly traceable or directly attributable to the product.
Okay, sir.
All expenses
Yeah.
of the factory which are not direct material or direct labor, they all come in indirect cost and they are all known as factory overheads. अब इसकी बड़ी अच्छी एग्जांपल देता हूं आपको जो बड़ी डिफरेंट सी है. तो चेयर मैन्युफैक्चर आपने की है, it also incurs a cost of nails and paint. The chair includes the cost of nails and paints. Apparently it looks as if they are part of the chair because the cost is directly involved in manufacturing the chair. It becomes the part of the chair. But because the cost of nails is difficult to calculate, we will treat the nails cost as indirect cost, factory overheads. Because the reason behind is this, that calculating the cost of nails, we will spend more time and energy than the actual cost of nails. So we will take it indirect cost rather than direct. हम एक एक कील की cost calculate नहीं कर सकते because it will take more time and more cost will be incurred in calculating the cost of nails, which is less than the cost which is being incurred in calculating that cost. So that's why nails cost is also treated as indirect cost and comes in factory overheads. ये पता लगाने के लिए कि इस कुर्सी पर कितनी अमाउंट का पेंट हुआ है, उस पेंट का पता लगाने के लिए हमें ज्यादा टाइम जाया करना पड़ेगा जितना उस पेंट की कॉस्ट नहीं है. इसलिए पेंट को भी हम इनडायरेक्ट कॉस्ट में शामिल कर देते हैं बिकॉज.
लेकिन ये सेम फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड्स की कैटेगरी में आते हैं किसी और कैटेगरी में आते हैं?
they all come in factory overheads category. In spite of that they become the integral part of the product, but because the cost of paint and cost of nails is not traceable from the product. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा ट्रेस हो नहीं सकती, हम ट्रेस करेंगे नहीं because it will take more time.
क्योंकि वो ज्यादा कॉस्ट लग जाएगी,
अब उसकी कॉस्ट उससे भी ज्यादा बढ़ जाएगी. जितना उसको कॉस्ट उसको कैलकुलेट करने की है उतनी कॉस्ट उसकी अपनी नहीं है. We will not go for it. And we will treat it as indirect cost. It includes in factory overhead. चलिए जी, चलते हैं वापस हम तो बुक पे चलते हैं वापस अपनी एलिमेंट्स ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉस्ट में. सबसे पहले क्या आता है जी, डायरेक्ट मटेरियल, डायरेक्ट लेबर एंड फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड्स. And direct cost becomes the integral part of the product. For example, direct material, labor, and direct expenses. We will discuss about direct expenses later on. All indirect costs, including indirect material and indirect labor, debited to factory overheads account. Debited means it is a part of factory overheads. It will be included in factory overheads. Now, what is direct material? Cost of material used during the period, which includes purchase price of material and the acquisition costs relating to purchases. Acquisition cost means carriage inward, freight inward, carriage on raw material. That is a part of purchase of raw material. It will be added in purchases. We already know that carriage inward will be added in purchases. So it's a part of purchase cost. So purchase of raw material, carriage inward, freight inward, that is a part of purchase cost. It will be included as purchase price of raw material, and that is the direct material cost. And direct material cost means material used, the cost of material used during the period, during the process. Direct labor includes wages paid to people who are directly involved in the manufacturing process. देखा? I repeat again, think about it. Wages paid to people, spelling गलत लिखे हुए मैंने, who are directly involved in the manufacturing process. Those people who are directly involved in the manufacturing process, who are manufacturing the chairs by themselves. That includes direct labor, direct wages, factory wages, production wages, manufacturing wages, and sometimes it is also called factory operative wages. Now, one more cost has come into existence, which is direct cost, and they refer to expenses paid according to each unit of production. And that includes the royalties and license fee. Now, let's talk about it a little bit so that we may be able to know about direct expenses, which includes royalties and license fee. If you can gather more students from Saudi Arabia, it will be helpful for me, obviously. But I know it is not easy to gather more students, especially
Sir, I'm not in Saudi Arabia.
in
I'm in
UAE. I'm sorry,
UAE.
UAE. Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
I used to relate both of them. So why you opted? Because in UAE and in Saudi Arabia, we don't have good teachers of A levels. We don't find good teachers of A levels over there, right?
Yes.
That's true. And generally,
Also, the cost of schools is too much.
cost of the paying is also too much. And students of UAE generally, जो वहाँ के रहने वाले लोग हैं, they are least bothered about studies. They are not serious in
I
studies.
won't say least bothered. I won't say least bothered, but we don't particularly find good teachers to teach us.
Yeah,
I
true.
could say that.
How much you are paying in Green Hall?
I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, my father is
You may
making
ask
all
your
the
father.
dealings.
You may ask your father so that they may be able to tell me, because of the reason that they used to give us a percentage, na? So I should be knowing about that what amount you are in the academy. You getting the point?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Direct expenses, royalties and license fee. Royalties, what does it mean? Royalties means, let's suppose that I have introduced a new gadget in the market through which people can manage themselves. People will be managed and they can, they can hide themselves anywhere else. They can go anywhere else and nobody is able to see them. A special type of gadget I have invented. So the basic patent is held by the inventor. I am the inventor. If somebody is going to take that particular gadget, the formula from me, I will take royalties from that particular person. That is known as royalties on production. So whoever is going to produce that particular gadget, he has to pay me some fixed amount on each unit produced. Every unit which is going to be produced, the person has to pay me a royalty. So being the manufacturer of that particular gadget, you need to pay me royalty on each unit produced. That is direct expense. Same is the case with license fee. Whenever you are going to start a manufacturing unit, you have to pay license fee for that. And that license fee is also direct expense. Why? Because you can't start manufacturing without paying that license fee unless you don't have the license to manufacture those goods in that particular country, or a franchise you have opened, you have to pay the license fee for that to that particular owner of that particular franchise. So these license fee and royalties are the direct expenses, and they are also known as direct expenses, but they come after direct material, right? रॉयल्टीज क्या होती हैं? अगर मैं कोई चीज ऐसी बनाता हूं जिसको कोई और बंदा इस्तेमाल करना चाह रहा है, तो उस बंदे को हमें पे करना पड़ेगा जिसकी वो इन्वेंशन है on each unit produced. That is also a direct expense. That will be a part of direct expense. तो हम direct expenses में ही उसको consider जो है वो करते हैं. Next आपका आता है जी factory overheads or indirect costs. We have studied about this also. Costs incurred in manufacturing process, but they cannot be traced directly to goods being produced. They are also a part of manufacturing process, but they are not traceable from the product. That includes indirect material, indirect labor, and indirect expenses. Indirect material include lubricants and loose tools. Indirect labor includes wages, salaries, bonus, commission to cleaners, crane driver salary, indirect wages, supervision, supervisors, and production manager wages. A production manager is not taking active part in producing the goods. He is just managing the things. That's why they are not being treated as direct costs that comes in factory overheads, and it is an indirect cost. Then comes indirect expenses related to factory machinery and vehicles, rent and rates, depreciation, insurance, repair and maintenance, factory power, internal transport, loss on disposal, these all come in factory overheads, and this is all indirect cost. Right? Any problem till here? Though I have already
No.
you accordingly. Okay.
Sir, loose tools, I remember studying in IGCSE about loose tools.
Loose
It
tools.
has a separate table, right?
No,
Like
no,
the nails and the paint you're talking about, that comes in loose tools, right?
no. Loose tools is basically, the what should I say? The tools which have been used in manufacturing, like lubricants of machinery or something to correct the machinery. If something has happened wrong with the machinery, if it is not going properly, or something is creating problem, then loose tools will come into existence. And sometimes it is treated as a non-current asset. So whatever loose tools have been utilized, they used to treat it as an expense. The loose tools which has been used, they become the expense of the business. But you are supposed to calculate it like that, as I have given in the formula.
Okay.
हम इसको डेप्रिसिएशन के लिए निकाला करते थे वैसे. अच्छा, अब मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का फॉर्मेट है जी आपके सामने. ये आपके सामने मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का फॉर्मेट है. बट बिफोर दैट आई एम गोइंग टू start the manufacturing. I want you to take the picture of this, please. Can you take the pic of this page?
And just a second.
Okay. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, next page. Again, you have to go for the pic.
Okay, got it.
Okay, next page. Again, you have to go for the pic.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll start the manufacturing count. And generally what happens that there are two first chapters, manufacturing and non-profit organization. Out of these two chapters, we used to find one question in the paper, in your paper 3. One question will come from these two chapters, and then from one chapter, one question from business purchase, and then cash flow and company will find one question. And then one question sometimes come from consignment and joint venture. And this is how the financial accounting covers. For cost accounting, we have 4 chapters. Out of that, 2 chapters used to come in the paper. Let's discuss about the format of manufacturing account. So it starts from direct material, manufacturing account for the period ended. It starts from direct material and it starts from raw material opening inventory. So in that particular case, we have 3 types of inventories. Let's talk about raw material first. The wood which has been left at the end of the year, which is not yet utilized, not yet used by the business, that becomes the opening inventory of the next year. So that is raw material opening inventory. Add purchases. I will subtract returns, purchases return from purchases, and I will add carriage inward into purchases because it's a part of purchases. So total will come like over here. I will add opening inventory in the total purchases to get this amount. Then raw material closing inventory will be subtracted from the total amount of purchases to get the answer in the next column, which is material used, consumed, raw material consumed, used, or put in process. You can use third name also, that is put in process, one and the same thing, because that is the material which has been put in process. आप ये भी use कर सकते हैं word, process का word भी आप use कर सकते हैं. That is the material which has been used and put in process. This is how we are going to record this. So next, raw material used. After raw material used, we have to add direct labor into this. And direct labor, we already discussed that it includes manufacturing wages, factory wages, or direct wages. These are all one and the same name. Production wages. Add accrued if any. If there are some accrued factory wages, it will be added in manufacturing wages to get the total manufacturing wages. And if we will add material cost, material used into direct wages, we will get the prime cost. So prime cost will come by adding the material used and direct wages, will get the prime cost. And in prime cost,
So prime cost is basically the total of all the direct cost.
the prime cost is basically the total of direct material and direct labor, or you may say that the total of direct cost, and it is also known as initial cost or basic cost भी कहते हैं इसको, क्योंकि इसके
Also, I wanted to ask, the accrued and accrual, is it the same thing or different?
same, which is not yet paid. Accrued means which is not yet paid and neither recorded nor paid. I have to add it and I have to record it also in the same manner. So
No, I'm talking about accrued and accruals, the different terms, accruals.
accruals includes prepayments also. Accrued means only accrual, which is not yet paid.
Okay.
Accruals includes which is not yet received also. Both names can be used for both things. Prime cost includes known as initial cost or basic costs also. Because देखो कामिल अल्लाह ताला ने आपको बनाया है
जी.
और हम किस चीज से बने हैं? मट्टी से. मट्टी हमारा क्या है? रॉ मटेरियल है. और रूह हमने फूंकी है, वो किसने? अल्लाह ताला ने फूंकी है, तो वो डायरेक्ट लेबर है, अल्लाह ताला की लेबर लगी. और फैक्ट्री ओवर आप पे जरा ज्यादा लग गया. दैट्स व्हाई यू आर सो गुड लुकिंग एंड आई एम नॉट दैट गुड लुकिंग, बिकॉज मेरे ऊपर फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड जरा कम लगाया अल्लाह ताला ने, इसलिए आप जरा गुड लुकिंग हो. तो गर्ल्स आर आफ्टर यू बिकॉज ऑफ द सेम रीजन. तो देखते हैं आगे हम इसके बाद हम इसको कैसे जो है वो डील करते हैं. तो इसमें प्राइम कॉस्ट में हम ऐड करते थे फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड्स. Overheads includes all indirect expenses, including indirect labor, indirect material. It includes factory rent, factory repair and maintenance, disposable tools, indirect labor, supervision, foreman salary, production manager salary, all indirect material, heat, light and power, factory supplies, depreciation of factory non-current assets, yani depreciation of machinery, depreciation of factory building, and miscellaneous expenses. Any other expenses which relates to factory will come in factory overheads. If we will add up all those expenses, we will get the answer that is total factory cost. So total factory cost is the combination of raw material and direct labor, which becomes prime cost. We will add factory overhead, we'll get total factory cost. Then we will add work in process opening inventory and less work in process closing inventory. You will get cost of production. This is the format of manufacturing account. This is the format of manufacturing account. Then we used to prepare income statement or trading account. But first we will discuss about inventories. And there are three types of inventories in this chapter. One is known as raw material inventory. Other one is work in progress. And the third one is finished goods. Raw material inventory, we have discussed already the chair which we have manufactured, the material, the wood which has been used in the previous year, which is not used actually in the previous year. That is the raw material closing inventory, and the same raw material become the opening inventory of this year. Work in progress, that is very important. It means that those chairs which has not been manufactured completely, yani which are still in process. So those chairs are going to be completed in the next year. So their cost should be added in the next year rather than this year. So that's why work in process closing inventory is subtracted, because those three chairs are manufactured in this year, but they are not completed. So their cost will be subtracted from work in process. That's why we will subtract it, and it will be added in the next year. So opening work in process is added and closing are always subtracted. Same is the case with finished goods. Finished goods opening is always added and finished good closing is always subtracted. But finished goods will not come in manufacturing account. Why, sir? Because our normal income statement includes finished goods. बेटा जो पहले थे हम income statement जो हम पहले बनाते रहे हैं वो finished goods की ही होती थी. उसमें और इसमें नहीं है, ये finished goods की ही होती थी जो पहले बनाते रहे हम. Because there was only one inventory which was of finished goods in the past. But now we have two types of inventories, three types of inventories: raw material, work in process, and finished goods. That's why we use these three names. And if we talk about the manufacturing trading count, which is known as income statement also, we'll start from sales. We'll subtract sales return from this, less cost of goods sold, I will write opening stock of finished goods, add cost of production. From where this cost of production has arrived? That is arrived from this point. This amount which has been derived from the manufacturing count, by preparing the manufacturing count, I will take this amount over here in cost of production. I will add this in cost of production. Then I will add purchase of finished goods, less return if any, and I will subtract closing inventory of finished goods to get the cost of sales. Then I will get gross profit, less expenses, admin and selling. Then I will get the net profit. Now your question arises, sir, what is purchase of finished goods? Beta, is it necessary that we are manufacturing all goods and selling it? No, we are manufacturing and selling, but sometimes when our manufacturing process is not that speedy, or we don't have the raw material available, we can purchase some finished goods from outside supplier. So in that case, we are manufacturing the goods also, which is cost of production, and we are purchasing the finished goods from outside also, which is purchase of finished goods, which is the normal purchases. That is the purchase of finished goods. But this purchase of finished goods will not be a part of the question every time. Sometimes it happens that we purchase goods from outside supplier when we don't have the capacity to produce that much goods for which the order has been received. We don't have the capacity to produce that much goods for which the order has been received. So फिर हम purchase of finished goods, we can buy finished goods from outside supplier also directly. So this is the format of manufacturing, and this is the format of income statement. You need to memorize this format, and then we can start the question from next onwards. We will start the question which is right in front of you. I will be able to solve this first question for you. May June 12, 22 ka. I will be solving in front of you, inshallah ta'ala, on Thursday. So, any problem till here? You can ask me anything you want to ask.
No, I don't think so. I think I understood most of the stuff.
That's great. But still, if you want to ask any problem, you are free to. You can WhatsApp me also.
Yeah, I'm thinking right now.
You can WhatsApp me if there is any problem. That is not a big, but you need to, memorize this format, because our questions will be based upon this format. And first, we need to prepare the manufacturing count. Then we are going to prepare the trading count and income statement, which is the same part which we have been doing in the previous chapters. तो इसकी भी पिक्चर आप ले लें. इसकी पिक्चर ले लें आप.
Okay.
That's it. Later on. और नेक्स्ट की पिक्चर भी लेनी पड़ेगी आपको, नेक्स्ट पेज की भी. इसकी भी पिक्चर ले लें.
Okay, yeah, हो गया.
Okay, it was a nice meeting you. I'll see you in the next class at 2 o'clock on Thursday. Have a nice time and take good care of yourself and your family. And I hope so that you have understood most of the things, and hopefully we'll continue in the same manner, and we are able to cover the course within the stipulated time as discussed with you. And
सर वो पिछला वाला पेज दोबारा दिखा सकते हैं, उसकी पिक्चर ठीक नहीं आई.
why not?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, then take care. Allah Hafiz. See you then in the next class.